9 tips to break in to the high-end luxury real estate market with Roh Habibi. Let's go. All right, guys. So this, I think, is going to be a very valuable video. Please watch it all the way through. Like it, subscribe to the channel. Please leave me some feedback. Let me know if this helped you. Okay, so I've been doing this for over 10 years now. And probably one of the #1 questions that I get often is, how do I break in to start doing more higher end sales, focusing more on the luxury? And there's 4 requirements in order to be able to do that. And you really have to, consider these and see if they're within you or not. 1 is you have to be patient, okay? 2, you really have to focus on expertise, market knowledge. Practice is number 3. This is something that you have to practice every day, day in and day out. And number 4, you have to really start sprucing up your marketing chops. You have to see what is going on out there in the world and what you're trying to do and what message you're trying to send across. Okay, so let's focus on tip number 1 for breaking into the high-end real estate market with Roh Habibi. Study high-end agents. I mean, I can't say it clearly enough or easy enough. There are 250 agents, for example, on the Wall Street Journal, Real Trends, with Tom Ferry, that report that comes out every single year, where all the agents that are doing the luxury deals, that are doing bigger high-end deals, they end up on that list. They toot their own horn for quite some time, for months and months after that comes out, because they had a phenomenal year the year before. There's 250 agents that you could go on there, visit their website. What type of brand have they created? What do they specialize in? What is the message that they are sending across to the consumer, to other agents? And why don't you just try to mimic that? You could pick one thing a day, one thing a month, or one thing a week, but just try to understand what are they doing every single day. Bring some of that into your real estate practice, and slowly but surely, with patience and persistence, you get there. So there's a couple things. How do they present their brand, obviously? What does their website look like? Do they even have a website? If they do, find out. How do they present themselves? How do they dress? How do they potentially talk? How do they attract the wealthiest, people that live here? And I'm in America, right? I'm in the United States. I'm in the Bay Area, the San Francisco Bay Area of Northern California. But how do they dress? How do they talk? Figure it out a little bit. Study those agents. See what they're doing. And last but not least, this is going to probably be one of the most difficult ones, because when you're busy, you just don't necessarily have the time. But you can ask all those 250 agents that we just talked about just a moment ago, hey, would you be okay with me shadowing you for a couple hours on one of your down days? Or, could I be with you for a whole day, and I'll take care of everything. I'll take care of all the food and coffee, and maybe I'll host your team or something of that nature. But provide some value to them for letting you shadow them. Don't just outright ask for it for free, because it's not really going to work that way, right? It's give and take for everything. Step number 2 to break in. Become an expert. Now, how would you define becoming an expert? I think of it as the person who goes an inch wide, but a mile deep. So if you want to focus on high-end and luxury in general, how are you going to do that? You have to think about how you're going to formulate that for yourself, for your market, for wherever you're working. Inch wide, mile deep, okay? So I need to know where fixtures came from. What's the most high-end stuff that you could put inside of a house? Floors, stone, bedding, bath, furniture, artwork, lighting. There are so many different things. I mean, literally, you're taking yourself down the rabbit hole right now. But when you become an expert, that's what it truly means. Like, I could walk through a house and I could tell you, hey, that came from there, and this is why this is so valuable, and this is why we've priced this home at $15 million, because X, Y, and Z. So that takes time. Like I said, I've been doing this for over 10 years. You have to slowly start understanding that by reading publications, by reading journals, by visiting properties, by understanding what does the high-end luxury consumer understand and what do they relate to? What makes sense to them? You need to learn all that. That's how you become a market expert for the high end. So you need to know listings that are on and off market. Obviously, you need to know everything that is closed sales-wise. You need to know neighborhoods. Why does one neighborhood command, multiple millions of dollars more than another neighborhood? You need to know that. And the easiest way that you could begin this process, and I think this is throughout the entire nation, but everywhere has the broker's tour. For us, San Francisco is on Tuesday, different parts of the East Bay are on both on Wednesday and on Thursday. Palo Alto and all of Silicon Valley is on Friday. Like, I know when my broker's tours are for what areas that I'm going to be working. So when I set up starting at 9 a.m. and I go all the way to about 4 p.m., I will probably see in one day about 20 properties, maybe 25 properties if I go a little bit quicker. Do you understand how much market knowledge that is? If I see minimum 25 properties every single week for the last 10 years, do you know how many properties I have literally walked in, smelled, tasted, felt it, understood it, the interior, the exterior, the drive up, the neighborhood. So the way that I'm going to be speaking to potential clients is going to be maybe different than the way that you will if you haven't done that same amount of work. So starting this week coming up, on Broker's Tour Day, the night before, you're going to spend several hours putting together your entire tour of different homes that you want to see that are in different price brackets, so you can start understanding and be able to speak to inventory that hit the market. So when you go on a listing presentation, you could say, yes, I saw that, and this is what was wrong with it, and this is what was positive about it, and X, Y, Z, and that's how you're going to take it down. So go for that. Number 3, know the community. Do you know the schools? Do you know where the firehouse is? Do you know where the police department is? Do you know what companies are in that specific city that are driving up the value in that specific city? Do you know where the parks and the recreation are? You need to dissect the entire city and become the expert. And the way that you could start doing that, obviously, is by starting to visit all these different types of places and drive around and really get out and go to the park and know where the trails are and know what the companies are. That's a simple Google right there. But you really got to know it. You got to know where the private clubs are. You got to know where the golf courses are. You got to know where the gym is. You got to know, like, if I ask you a question, you don't know that type of stuff, I'm going to be a little bit skeptical to work with you on my $7 million house or my $25 million house. Like, if you don't know these simple things, you're really shooting yourself in the foot right from the get-go. So you don't want to do that. Number 4, and I have to emphasize this a lot, but you got to look the part, okay? If you are not, quote unquote, the luxury realtor yet, and you don't have like tons of money like all these other people do, it's okay. But you gotta go, you gotta buy a couple of nice outfits, you gotta get your hair cut, you gotta look clean, you gotta look presentable, you gotta take slang out of your language. You gotta look like you understand that me as the client, you as the agent, I have a $15 million house, you look like an agent that I could trust my $15 million asset with. And if you feel like when you look in the mirror, you don't feel like you trust yourself with the $15 million asset yet, okay, so that's where you start. Make sure your nails are clipped. When you're pointing to a listing presentation or when you're pointing to the listing agreement, what do you think people are doing? They're looking at your hands. They're gonna look at the watch that you're wearing. They're gonna look at the ring that you have on. They're going to look and make sure that your nails are nice and clipped and trimmed, and you know what I'm saying? Like, people don't think about these things, but believe me, when you start working in a different realm, these are people that are getting, pedicures and manicures all the time. They notice that type of stuff. They're going to notice whether if your teeth are, jacked up. So if you need to go get your teeth cleaned, go get your teeth cleaned. If you need to pop a couple veneers in there, pop a couple veneers in there. If you need to get braces, there's Invisalign now. So all you have, right? Not many people see the car that you roll up in. Not many people see the home that you live in, but they are going to see your physical representation of yourself and how you respect yourself. So if that means wearing a beautiful dress and having the handbag that you want and looking the part, or the gentleman like wearing a suit, or you don't have to wear a suit all the time. For example, I'm in the Bay Area. Not many people wear suits, believe me. The billionaires that I work with, they're wearing jeans or shorts, slippers, t-shirt, plaid shirt, button up. Like, you would not believe that this person's a billionaire, but they are. They're comfortable in their own skin. So that doesn't mean that you dress like them. You dress like the professional that is willing to help them for one of the most expensive assets that they have. But you got to look the part. You got to show up for yourself. So that means hitting the gym. That means getting a facial. That means, doing what you got to do. Okay. Next, with that aspect of looking the part, you got to start eating out, okay? Money is not made by you sitting at your office, eating at your office alone, okay? Always take someone out to eat for lunch or for dinner or for whatever. Be out and about where your potential clients are going to be, looking the part, talking the talk. Every single person that you speak to, at one point or another, they're going to mention, hey, what's going on with real estate? What's going on in the market? Believe me, they will. That's your opportunity, okay? Be where they are. All right, number 5, market appropriately, okay? For luxury, the details and the quality are more important than anything else. Take the time, put in the effort. If you have to spend a little bit and you got to charge it on your card, you got to do it. Because the details and the quality of the materials, that is your brand. And that's what you're going to take to the next listing appointment. That's what you're going to show to the next buyer that you're working with. Why you? Okay? There's a lot of potential people out there that sell luxury real estate, but why you? So your marketing materials have to be just amazing, okay? Take the extra time, read a couple books on marketing, do a couple Google articles and searches, figure out how to make your marketing and advertising literally the best you could possibly make it. Get a really good headshot. I cannot tell you how many people I've seen from a headshot from like 1979 and they show up at my listing, or I meet them and I'm like, what the heck? You guys are probably laughing right now because you've experienced the same thing. Okay, get a recent, beautiful headshot. Make sure your copy and your communication that you're typing out for your emails, for your database, for your newsletter, for the copy, for the listing, make sure it's well written. And if you're not a great writer, that's fine. You can literally outsource stuff like this to other people that write really, really well and then use that in your marketing, okay? But you got one shot to make a really good first impression, and that starts with the marketing, so do that. Then, slowly as you start building up 1 sale, 2 sales, 3 sales, the proof is in the pudding, right? So you're starting to get experience, you're starting to feel comfortable in your own skin, you start doing some of these sales, then you show to other buyers and sellers, hey, this is the proof. I just did this, and this is what we did, and this is how we sold it, and it stood on the market for maybe about 100 days, but this is what we did in order to tweak it, and this is how we sold it, and they were happy, and it was a win-win for everybody. So, being able to do that. Number 6, networking appropriately, okay? So networking is probably the lifeblood of our business. You're trying to meet a new buyer and a new seller every single day, everywhere that you go, in everything that you're doing, whether it be at the gym, the grocery store, your child's school, whatever you're at. If you're at a dinner party, if you're at a club, I don't care where you are, sports event, every single day, your goal and objective is to meet one new buyer or a new seller every single day. So the networking opportunities that you need to think about, okay, I'm trying to break into the luxury. Well, where are the quote unquote luxury people hanging out? What are they doing? Are they at the yacht club? Are they at the, the professional tennis club? Are they at a baseball game, a basketball game? Where are they sitting though? Okay, I'm gonna go to the basketball game and I could spend $350 for a whatever ticket, or I could spend $3,000 or $5,000 and I could sit courtside. Now, if I'm trying to work with luxury clientele, Is the luxury client sitting in the $350 seat, or are they sitting in the $5,000 seat? And if you have 4.5 hours to get there early, watch the entire game, hang out, get food with them, hang out with them, laugh with them, and then watch the rest of the game. You got to think about what you're doing and who you're trying to be around. I can tell you, okay, maybe seldomly, they will be buying the $350 ticket. Okay, maybe. But you're trying to mix with the people that are all luxury clientele, right? So now if the whole entire courtside is, 180 people or whatever the case may be, who do you want to be hanging out with? You want to hang out with the 180 people that all paid $5,000+ for one ticket to watch a game courtside. Those are going to be your clients. Now you look the part, you feel good, you're comfortable, you're the expert. When you start opening your mouth, people are going to attract and they're gonna appreciate what you're saying, and you seem super knowledgeable. You got these beautiful cards, you give it to them, they give you their information. All of a sudden now you met 6 people in one night that are all paying $5,000 just to sit and watch a basketball game. Where do you think they live? What type of cars do you think they're driving? How many other properties do they own in different areas? Think about that. So, for networking also, you should reach out to CPAs, certified public accountants, wealth managers, attorneys. Those are going to be fantastic referral partners for you. And the only way that you're going to get them, though, is by providing massive, massive, massive value of all the things that we just mentioned before about you being the market expert. That's how you're going to do that. Number 7, and this is vital, 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 vital. You've heard of co-listing, right? Co-listing is probably the simplest and most effective way for you to get hands-on experience, learning from A to Z from someone that has massive amounts of experience. Yeah, you're going to get a little bit less, but isn't it more important for you to be able to break into the market, actually sell the property, get the experience, and then go to the next one, and go to the next one, and go to the next one? So for as long as you need to, be super happy to co-list. Reach out to me, I'll co-list with you any day. And you'll learn hands-on from me. So never ever be hesitant to co-list, because 50% of something is better than all of nothing. Okay? Number 8. Just thinking about, okay, how do I start building up some confidence to talk to these people that own these homes? So why don't you start with expireds? Obviously, expired listings, they're going to be super upset. They might be very grumpy. They had the property on the market for 300 days. It didn't sell. Something happened. There was something missing there. But the prior agent that was working there is no longer working with the client. This deal is now expired. So you find their information through title or through whatever companies that are out there. I'm sure there's a lot of them out there. I don't do this personally, but it's a good way to start, okay? For you to start, again, building your confidence, getting that energy, understanding these conversations. What are they going to ask you? What do you need to know? So start calling these people and saying, hey, tell me about what happened. You had this thing on the market for 300 days. Did you have showings? Did you get any offers? What are your plans now? Are you still planning on selling this thing? Like, how long are you going to wait before you bring it onto the market again? What were the mishaps that you noticed with the agent that you were working with that you were just super unhappy with, because obviously you're not working together anymore and you didn't have a successful sale? So tell me what are the pitfalls, and then you say, hey, this is how I rebuttal that, and this is how I remedy that, and this is how we're going to get it done for you, and this is our new offering plan of what we're going to do, and this is our marketing, and this is what we do, and this is what we spend. So, that's a good way. Start with expireds, okay? Last but definitely not least is number 9. Everything is here. Everything is mindset, okay? What you're reading, what you're listening to, who's around you, all of these things are going to affect your mindset. Now, if you don't have confidence and you don't have laser focus, that's going to affect you. If you're around anyone that is giving you any negative energy that at one point or another you're not going to be doing what you're trying to be doing, you got to cut the fat, okay? Mindset's everything. So just be super cautious about what you're listening to, what you're reading, what negative news you're potentially listening to, what negative Nancy's you're around. Just surround yourself. If it has to be around no one and you just got to be alone, that's okay. Just be alone. it's better than being around a big group of people, but you know, these people are not positive. These people are not, you know, filling you up with just, you know, energy and excitement and, you know, the joy to be alive and just do these big deals and crush these deals and be able to market yourself and get onto that real trends list at one point or another. But mindset, guys, is everything, okay? Every single thing that we just talked about before will never, ever, ever, ever begin if your mindset is just not rock solid, okay? So if that includes meditation, if that includes working out, if that includes giving yourself affirmations every single day, if that includes maybe analyzing what's going on with your morning routine and why your morning routine sucks, okay? Are you beating the sun up? Are you waking up before sunrise and getting your day started? Are you working out? I mean, you gotta analyze where you're at and where your life is, okay? But I can tell you this, probably definitively, the agents who are super duper luxury agents that are just crushing it on all levels, they're not one track minded. These are not people that are not like literally complete like packages, okay? They look good, they feel good, they work out, they dress well, they're super knowledgeable, they understand things, they make good money, they spend good money, they're around the right people. It's literally an entire package. So with that, I wish you guys all the best of success and the best luck ever. Break into the high end. Let me know how it goes. I'm Roh Habibi. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. Major respect for everyone that just watched this. Thank you so much, and I hope you get to your goals. And please let me know how you got there, all right? Right on.